team member today. Real quick.
It's a numbers game, batting average, ERA, streaks of success, streaks of failure. NC State's Evan Mendoza is on a hot streak that everybody's talking about. Ken Medlin tells the story.
Evan Mendoza has been an offensive dynamo for NC State. He's hitting .380 in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak, a huge reason why the Pack has been camped out in college baseball's top 10.
This season I've really prided myself in just grinding out every day, making sure I'm doing something every day to better my baseball skills.
And talk about skills, Mendoza's success is even more impressive when you consider how rarely he saw the field last season. Used primarily as a pitcher, Mendoza had a grand total of 3 at-bats without a single hit.
He just came to me, last spring, and he started out in the rotation. And he can't, Coach, I just can't pitch it once a week. I just, he said, I want to play.
The answer was a spot in the infield. Mendoza was State's opening day starter at third base, and once he got his chance to play every day, he made the most of it.
You have to be patient in this game. Not everything's going to happen right then and there when you want it to. That's something that I think this past year has taught me.
There's an old joke in baseball that a player hitting below 200 is below the Mendoza line. That's named from Mario Mendoza, a light-hitting shortstop back in the 70s. NC State's Evan Mendoza is redefining the Mendoza line, raising the bar a lot closer to 400. Ken Medlin, WRL Sports, Raleigh.
It's a numbers game, batting average, ERA, streaks of success, streaks of failure. NC State's Evan Mendoza is on a hot streak that everybody's talking about. Ken Medlin tells the story.
Evan Mendoza has been an offensive dynamo for NC State. He's hitting .380 in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak, a huge reason why the Pack has been camped out in college baseball's top 10.
This season I've really prided myself in just grinding out every day, making sure I'm doing something every day to better my baseball skills.
And talk about skills, Mendoza's success is even more impressive when you consider how rarely he saw the field last season. Used primarily as a pitcher, Mendoza had a grand total of 3 at-bats without a single hit.
He just came to me, last spring, and he started out in the rotation. And he can't, Coach, I just can't pitch it once a week. I just, he said, I want to play.
The answer was a spot in the infield. Mendoza was State's opening day starter at third base, and once he got his chance to play every day, he made the most of it.
You have to be patient in this game. Not everything's going to happen right then and there when you want it to. That's something that I think this past year has taught me.
There's an old joke in baseball that a player hitting below 200 is below the Mendoza line. That's named from Mario Mendoza, a light-hitting shortstop back in the 70s. NC State's Evan Mendoza.
All right. Welcome in to another episode of the Mendoza Line. I'm your host, Evan Mendoza. Welcome in, everyone, and happy Tuesday. I don't know if you guys are coming home from maybe practice or whatnot. Maybe you have a game. I don't know what's going on with your guys' schedule, but welcome in. This is episode, as you guys know, one of my favorite things to do is move this guy over to the next day, showcase that consistency for you guys, and that is a little bit of a different weight. We're going to go 37. Today's day number 37, guys. We are streaming every single weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and to really answer your guys' questions about baseball mindset, development, and recruiting. So guys, feel free to ask those questions. And by the way, if this is your first time ever joining in to this Mendoza Line, go ahead, ask your question, but also most importantly, drop a baseball emoji down below in the chat just to say what's up, because I want to make sure I welcome you guys in with open arms, with everything that we've got going on. So like I said, guys, welcome into another episode of the Mendoza Line. This is a live stream we do weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. All right, so one thing I always like to kind of draw out is this kind of grid. So that way, if you guys ever have playing profile a breakdown, we're able to do that and do it in an efficient process. So I always like to put grad year, position, 60. And by the way, college coaches like to see these things as well. That's why I like to see these things as well. Exit velocity. And then if you're a catcher, we definitely want to see that pop time as well. So let's get into these one by one. We had some over on YouTube. We are streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So guys, feel free to ask those questions if you have any baseball related questions. All right, so my son's a 2026 center fielder. Let's see that speed number. Kind of 6.72. 88 exit velocity. 88 exit velocity. And then 86 arm. So is that enough speed to stand out? So I wouldn't be focusing too much on the speed component, right? Yes, you are a center fielder. Yes, you want to be down maybe closer to that 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" number for the 60 time. But since you're a center fielder, I believe you need to have a little bit of a stronger arm. 86, if you're a senior with, so by the way, it's really important for you guys to know, 86 with a curl hop is, in my opinion, not necessarily like a huge number, right? That huge number that we want to see is probably closer to, not there, probably closer to 90 plus. If we can get that closer to 90 plus, we're going to be a lot more, aware, or these college coaches are going to be a lot more aware of who we are and what we could possibly, bring to the table. And that's what it really comes down to, is you need to make sure that you put yourself in the best situation to get seen by these college coaches. There's no other way to put it. You need to be seen. You need to be able to be in front of these college coaches to get the attention, so that way you can go through their college recruiting process in an efficient manner. So yeah, I wouldn't be focusing too much on the speed, right? Like the question asked is like 6.72. That's actually pretty decent in my opinion. You're able to cover ground, and I think that's more than enough. All right, let's go over some other examples, and I forgot to create a new layer, so we're just gonna have to go ahead and erase these guys over and make another layer. There we go. All right, so we got a 2025. So really we have a freshman. Oh, we got a freshman in college. I don't like writing like 2025 because that's past year. Anyway, right-handed pitcher. Sitting 82, 84. And that's kind of the only thing that we need to know, right? Touching 85, I guess. Topping 85, right? Is that like, are those numbers behind? Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of put it out there. Like, so if you're a freshman in college right now, I'm curious if you still have the desire to keep playing baseball at like, a higher level, or if you're currently on the team. These are all the things that I'm curious on, because if you're a freshman in college with 85 mile an hour stuff, you're probably not going to be always sitting 85. You're probably going to be more or less topping 85. So you're going to be usually in that range. In my opinion, that range is probably closer to that like D3 level, especially if you are a freshman in college already. So if you're already a freshman in college, that kind of makes me curious, like, okay, well, if you're a freshman in college, are you on the team? Are you looking to walk on to a team? Like, these are the conversations that I always like to have with you guys if you're live. And by the way, guys, if you are curious where you stand with some of your graduation year, your position, 60 time, arm velocity, exit velocity, things like that, guys, go ahead and drop those down below in the chat. So that way I can kind of go over a player profile for you guys to know what you bring to the table. And, yeah, because that's a huge thing, guys, is I want to make sure that you understand what you bring to the table, so that way you can maximize who you are for the team that you play on, right? It's something that a lot of people just completely neglect, is like their playing profile and who they are and what they bring to the table. So just always keep that in mind, guys. I don't know why, but my multi-chat thing is not working. Don't know why. But if anybody is on Instagram, go ahead and just comment hi or hello. It keeps looping the intro video. Anyone else having issues? Oh no. I think you might be the only one. Hopefully you're the only one. I don't know. Instagram I'm looking at right now, and it does look like it looks like it's a live feed. So hopefully it's not looping that There are some bugs sometimes on like the stream key, and that's basically what helps me or allows me to stream multiple platforms at the same time. One thing also I was curious on doing is I was it's always you. I was trying to do a TikTok live. Spencer Steve, there we go. Spencer, yo, how we doing, man? All right, we got a sophomore in high school, so that's a 2028. It takes me a second, guys. Two-way middle infielder. Um, 60 at 7.3. Exit velocity off the tee with wood. Okay, 92 with wood, 94. So basically, I'll just put 93. Pull down 90, and then off mound 85. So ideally, arm, we're going to be looking at more 85. Guys, with pull downs, don't get into the mindset too much that that's what you throw, because unfortunately, it's really not what you throw. And I hate to break it to you guys, but like it's not the case, right? What you throw with, and by the way, Spencer, appreciate you joining in here. What you throw with, again, like a curl hop, it's the same conversation that we just had about outfielders. They have that curl hop, they have that sprint speed that assists with their arm action as well. That's what a pull down is as well. But you're also just throwing it into a net. There's no real aim, of course. It's more of just like a raw strength side of things. So it's just something that I never looked too deep into, because you can get very, very lost in that. And I don't want you guys to get lost into that. I want you guys to have that understanding that there's so much more beyond, just a pull down. So with where you're currently at, Spencer, I would say, being a middle infielder first, or maybe, you haven't necessarily decided which route you want to go right now. Apparently, got 95 across the diamond, but I've only gotten up to 88 ever from short. Apparently, dude, that's awesome. I don't know if that was like a hot radar gun or what. But ultimately, yeah, like we would want to be, making sure we can get that linked. But let's see. Camera. I'm trying to add in stuff because I'm trying to go live over on TikTok, which I don't go on TikTok very often, but I'm trying to figure out how to do this. And I'm clearly not the best at it. Give me just 1 second, guys. Display capture. No. Image link. Goal countdown. Camera. That's annoying. Anyway, it's not working for whatever reason. But yeah, Spencer, with where you're currently at, like I would probably say the area of focus, because like 93 exit velocity, pretty solid. 85 arm velocity, pretty solid. 7.3, like if we can just drive that home to 6.9, dude, you don't understand the difference that college coaches will look at you if your 60 time starts with a 6. It's just gonna scream so much more athleticism, more than you could ever know. So just keep that in mind, because it's so important. I wouldn't be telling you these things unless it was. So just obviously keep that in mind with how you're training, because again, if you're training the right ways, that's where you're going to be. It's going to be beneficial for you to make sure you're doing the right things. Yeah. All right. We just decided to go live over on TikTok. Haven't gone live in a minute. PG guns might be juiced. They could be. If you were typically at like 85 and you got a 95 across the diamond, that might be incredible. But welcome in over on TikTok, fellas. I don't typically go live over on TikTok, and I don't even know how to figure out the mute side of things. Let's see if I can add a source. I need an audio. Am I not able to bring in audio? I don't even know. Can you guys hear me over on TikTok? If you guys can hear me over on TikTok, let me know. Ethan just joined in. Homar, Caden. Guys, if you can hear me, Ernesto, if anyone can hear me over on TikTok, just let me know. First time going live over on TikTok in a minute. But guys, if you have any baseball-related questions, feel free to ask down below in the chat. I like to go over like playing profiles, which is kind of like what I just did, for you guys, to make sure that you guys also have that understanding of, you know, who we are and what I do. We got Redbeard in the house. Let's go. But yeah, guys, let's go over also some just like me rambling. If you guys don't have any questions, by the way, one thing I'm gonna do just as like a more of a less fun thing to do tonight. I'm going to ask for a quick little segment. I'm going to go into ChatGPT. I'm going to ask a question. Give me 20 this or that topics for me to talk with my live stream about. I don't expect you guys to want to watch this type of content. I don't know if I would even be very interested to watch this type of content, but that's what we're going to fill this space with, because if you guys have baseball related questions, I am more than ready to answer your guys' questions about whatever the case may be. I just want to make sure that this is going to be the best use of your time, and also you guys know a little bit more about me on what I could be. Ooh, this is actually really good. I'm going to like record this entire thing because I think I just hit a gold mine. So let's get into it. We're going to do these literally just back to back to back. All right. All right, new segment, this or that. Travel ball exposure versus development first. In my opinion, development always comes number one, because that's going to help in the exposure in the whole college recruiting process. All right. Showcases versus college camps. In my opinion, showcases are great, especially early in the high school journey, because it gives you an understanding on basic baseline metrics. Showcases also around junior and senior year are also going to be beneficial to help you show that raw strength or raw abilities. The only problem with showcases is there are showcase type of players, and I was definitely not a showcase type of player, and if you're not, sometimes you can be discouraged by going to a showcase. All right, velo or command. So in my opinion, you can get a lot further in the game of baseball, and this might be a hot take, with higher command. Guys, I used to face some absolute studs of arms. For example, like Jesse Chavez. He didn't throw the hardest, but every single pitch that he threw moved in different directions, and he had the command. It's surprising also at the professional level, even at the college level. Guys, velocity doesn't mean anything if you cannot command it. There are good hitters at the Division I level, there are good hitters at the professional level, and command means so much more than the velocity. Exit velocity or bat to ball skills for hitter. In my opinion, where the game is going is more towards exit velocity. Unfortunately, but that's also where just the game is going. People are looking into the metrics, the sabermetrics, so much more, and exit velocity is a true sign on how far and hard you're able to hit the ball. Multi-sport athletes or baseball only. So I would actually have preferred if I played multiple sports in high school. Now, I did only play baseball. That was the only thing that I was focused on. But recreationally, I played basketball. I played racquetball. I played volleyball. I played soccer. I was super athletic, and I loved playing new sports because I thought that transitioned certain athleticism from one sport into baseball. So I wish I played in a team atmosphere of multiple sports, but unfortunately, I only played baseball. Private lessons versus self-guided training. And in my opinion, the absolute cheat code for you becoming your own best coach is through self-guided training. Guys, if you go to private lessons and you need quite literally your hand to be held as you cross the street, you are not your own best coach. And unfortunately, that's not going to help you progress in the game of baseball. Yo, Alex, how we doing? Curious what your thoughts are, by the way, Alex. If you like this type of content, this is just something that I helped or had ChatGPT kind of create with me. Playing up a grade level or playing your same age. In my opinion, it's not what I just circled. It's playing up, guys. Playing against better competition is always going to help you understand what that future of competition will look like. And there's going to be a point in time you wish you stayed young because, yes, at the varsity high school baseball level, things get competitive. At the college level, things get competitive. And ultimately, age doesn't matter anymore as long as you can perform. Yeah, it's cool. Sometimes it's hard to come up with good questions. No, by the way, it is very difficult every once in a while, but this is something that I want to get on. JUCO. Going JUCO or playing D2 or D3. So this is the most common question that I probably get asked. And a lot of people ask this question in a unique way that I actually get frustrated with. Sometimes people will say, well, if I go JUCO, I'm going to play. If I go D2 or D3, I'm going to sit. And in my opinion, I would always go to the higher division level if possible, if the goal is to elevate into Division I baseball at one given time. Now, if you are at the talent level and maybe your grades are a little bit shaky, but you just want to play like 1 year of college and then get out and get drafted, JUCO is actually the best route for that. But again, if you are having this mindset of, oh, it's really competitive in the transfer portal, I'm just going to go JUCO because if I go to D2 or D3, I'm going to sit. In my opinion, that's just like the worst mindset to have. You can go D2 and D3 and play your freshman year if you have that mindset as well. Again, but some people just like to settle into the mindset of you will sit, and in my opinion, that's not the type of people that I like anyway. Asked that a lot. It is asked quite a bit. Unfortunately, it is asked too much for my liking. Let's go one more. Social media or traditional recruiting? In my opinion, I have no idea what traditional recruiting even means nowadays because ultimately traditional questions. Social media or traditional recruiting? In my opinion, I have no idea what traditional recruiting even means anymore because traditionally you would just kind of like sit around and wait and hope and pray that your high school or travel ball coach is going to figure something out for you. And in my opinion, the traditional way is the old school way. Social media is by far the new school way. It is free. You can get that exposure by sharing videos and documenting your journey within the game of baseball. So hands down, social media to get that exposure and to help you in the whole college recruiting process. And since I'm recording this, I'll end with a CTA. Follow for more content like this. All right, that was actually a pretty banger video if you ask me. All right, I'm gonna get back to other questions. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was reading questions over on actually ChatGPT. So let's actually get some of these questions that were asked. I already had hit on Spencer's question. What are some drills to improve your 60 time? So let's get over to Redbeard's question. So my favorite will always be the 5-10-5. And the reason for that is it's going to give you more lateral quickness, not necessarily linear. Linear quickness is basically in a straight line, 60 yards, for example. That's why the 60-yard dash is kind of getting outdated. 5-10-5 quite literally is going to be a dot here, a dot here, a dot here. You start in the middle and you basically go one side, go the other side, and start and end right there. So it's actually a lot more prevalent in football. But I think that lateral quickness and body control that you develop by doing this helps out a ton in baseball, stealing bases, having that body awareness, things like that. It's something that I did in high school, and it's something that I also teach my students a ton. To take my 60 time increase by that 0.4, 0.5 mark, what are the best workouts to do in order to accomplish that in the shortest time while still being efficient? So it's really, I think it's really with running, there's this misconception that you have to run 1, 2, 3 miles to get fast. Yes, you can get your mile marker faster, but in my opinion, you're not getting your 60 time faster or your home to first quicker. So a lot of people don't focus on it sounds stupid, but the 5 yard to 15/20 yard sprints. If you guys focus in this range more on just short, efficient, full effort sprints, this is where you also don't want to do too many of them because then your efficiency goes down. But ultimately, if you focus on this a lot more than obviously that area, the conditioning side of things, you're going to be training your fast twitch muscles to ultimately be fast twitch. Also making sure my other metrics do not drop. Don't worry about your other metrics dropping. If anything, you're going to be much more athletic by putting more force into the ground. This is going to be my terrible, foot. Right, that's the calf and everything. When you're running and that's the ground, you are quite literally putting force down off of the ground, so that way we're pushing up off of the ground. And that's basically running. Quite literally, that is the kind of definition of running. How quickly are we able to get on the ground and off the ground, and also how much power we're able to use off of the ground, right? So when you're sprinting, quite literally you're showcasing how much we're able to actually push off of the ground and in an efficient way. And if anything, that power output, again, this is power output, is going to translate into your pitching, into your hitting, into your fielding, into your footwork. So don't think about it. It's going to drop other metrics. Alex, okay, we're catching up on some of these questions. I have a problem of only being able to hit good in practice, but I get in the game, I struggle mostly because my timing's off. So, this is one question that I love because it really talks about, or I can go over, basically how we need to go over, basically front flip, which is going to be like at this stage. Again, this is going to be home plate, right? We can do front flip, and then we can turn around the L screen to do normal coach BP, right? For example, then we can do the 3-wheel, right? So basically the 3-wheel machine is right here. You put the ball in, right? And basically that's going to throw the ball, let's just say 60 miles an hour. So here we're throwing the ball quite literally 20 miles an hour. Coach BP might be 40 miles an hour. Machine work might be 60 miles an hour. If we can get any live at bats, that's going to be 80-ish miles an hour. The competition is going to get harder as we go up. And ultimately, if you're having a hard time transitioning practice to game, it means we're not spending enough time up here and we're spending too much time right here. By the way, the very first thing that a lot of students will do is hit the ball off the tee. If you're spending too much time right here and not enough time right here, it's because you're not competing enough in your training. It's cool. Sometimes it's hard to come up with those good questions. Yeah, he's looking at TikTok questions right now. So Spencer, I was actually looking at ChatGPT questions, but same old, same old. Thanks, my man. Always good listening in. You're the man. Absolutely. Spencer, should I be doing these daily? I definitely can. I may incorporate these into my warm-up before games. Just make sure I get them in reference into 5-10-5s. Yes, so 5-10-5s, in my opinion, can be done on a daily occurrence. I personally would probably do them towards the tail end because this is the time of the year where high school baseball is starting up. Just do that extra 15 minutes of work post-practice. So for me, I would get home. This would be team practice. I would drive home. And then basically right here, once I got home, is where I did my sprint work. It took me about 15, 20 minutes. And then I basically showered and so forth, right? Ate, all that fun stuff. But right here, you're driving home from practice. You're already sweaty. You're already kind of you're in need of a shower, just go ahead and get that work in sooner than later. I can promise you it's just going to make so much more sense if you can just do that sooner than later. Because again, you're just going to be like getting into that mindset of actually doing the work, then resting or scrolling on your phone, and then your thoughts are going to creep up, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. These are all things that will happen. Tristan over on TikTok, hello, Mr. Mendoza. You've been contacting my dad a lot about your camp, and I've been thinking about going. Tristan, I do not have a camp. We actually are doing a retreat in like late October, but more than likely, Tristan, we're actually talking about the one-on-one mentorship program inside my program. And since you brought that up, I'm going to go ahead and roll our first ad, rolling our first ever clip.
Real quick, if you have a son in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade who wants to play college baseball, listen up. At the Mendoza Baseball Academy, I built a triple play with the physical development, mental toughness, and a recruiting system that gets players noticed. And it's 100% remote, so no missed school, no wasted travel, just real results from home while your son works one-on-one with me. Click the link below to learn more and book a call with either myself or a team member today. Real quick, if you have a son in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade who wants to play college
All right,
baseball,
we're back. Yeah, guys, if you guys are curious about my online training program, it's called the Triple Play. It's what you guys probably just saw right now, where we focus on the physical, mental, and the recruiting guidance. Have plenty of calls with a bunch of students, also some families that are looking to join into the program as well. But yeah, that's a little bit of a snapshot of what you were probably talking about. Who was that? Was that Tristan? But yeah, look into it on my website, MendozaBaseballAcademy.com. But let's go ahead and get some other questions, or really some this or that's, because I really like that kind of segment that we just did. So metrics versus baseball IQ. So baseball IQ, in my opinion, can take you so far within the game of baseball. And I want to hit on like this one player, Irving Lopez, that I played with, because he was an absolute GOAT. He was just so cool to be around. Great player. And he was 5'8", maybe 160 pounds. Second baseman. That kind of fits his playing profile. He knew the game. Like his defense, his glove was really good, right? He could swing it too. Like for his size, he could swing it. Wasn't necessarily like a home run hitter, but also I wasn't a home run hitter, and I was 6'2". So like these things are important to an extent. As far as your metrics, like a lot of people will like buy into the fact that like metrics are the only thing that matters. Like I don't necessarily always agree with that, but the IQ side of things, like the IQ, it's like, why wouldn't you know the game of baseball? Like, what's your excuse on not knowing the game of baseball? It's quite literally just like a desire on if you want to know the game or if you don't. If you neglect just baseball understanding, or if you're going to be the one that actually buys into baseball IQ and knows baseball IQ. So that's a frustrating thing that I hear a lot, because unfortunately, like some players just don't have that baseball understanding of what to do with the ball, what defensive strategies that the team should be executing in a certain part of the game, right? If let's just say like you're down, let's just say you're up a run and it's the bottom half of the inning and there's a runner, if there's no runners on, like you should be playing no doubles, and that's not something that the coach should have to be telling you. You should be thinking the game, and that is part of the game. So for those that think like they're too good for baseball IQ, in my opinion, it's just like a short-minded way of thinking. So in my opinion, I would much rather have that baseball IQ as like that foundation. Yes, I think metrics can also help you get noticed and help you get seen. But like, again, there's no excuse to not have that baseball IQ. So in my opinion, this isn't really even fair. If anything, I would probably shave this over to this or that for metrics versus frame. This is actually a pretty solid one. So would I choose to be 6'3", 195, or would I rather throw 92 miles an hour? Because this is how college coaches think. This guy is going to be projectable even if he throws 84, or let's just say 86 miles an hour. This guy's projectable. Has anybody heard of a player being projectable before? I've heard it a million times. And sometimes it's confusing. It's like, what does being projectable even mean? Well, I'm about to tell you. So being projectable is basically a 6'3", lefty or righty, it doesn't really matter. 195, pretty good frame in high school, for example, but he's not throwing that hard. So what can we do to unlock that velocity so that way we can get him into the low 90s, for example? Now, if you're already throwing 92, and let's just say like, you know, you're 5'11", right? That might be your maximum. But with the leverage of being 6'3", the maximum over here might be 98. And a college coach might want that in 2 years rather than this right now. So this is right now, this might be like in 2 years. Does that make sense? So like this would be a better this or that. In my opinion, like I would rather have that frame because the metrics only matter so much to where you're at currently today. And where you're at currently today is not going to be where you are tomorrow. And I need you guys to understand that. Who you will be tomorrow is not who you will or who you are today. It's something that I dealt with in my high school baseball journey, and I wish you guys learned it as well. Because at the end of the day, like there's so much that can change in a short period of time. For example, I ran a 9.5 second 60 my freshman year of high school, and I got that down to a 7.4 my senior year. That was 4 years, and I got it down 2-ish seconds, right? I'm not saying that as like a flex because some of my students get their 60 down a full second from like an 8.2 to like a 7.1 or 7.2 in like 3 or 4 months, right? So I'm not here to like say I did anything crazy, but I also went from like 82 to 88 arm velocity off of the mound, not pull down or anything like that, in 3 months. I also went from a pitcher in college my freshman year to a third baseman in 1 year, right? So think about these things, guys. Obviously, they're really important. I do need to give my voice a little bit of a break, so let's go ahead and, especially for, who was it, over on TikTok, was that Trayson? I forgot the name. Tristan, maybe. There's going to be a video that kind of explains a little bit about my triple play program coming up right now.
Are you the parent of a high school baseball player dreaming of playing at the college level? Do you want to see your child's potential fully realized, but you feel like the road to getting noticed by college coaches is long, you're uncertain, and expensive? Well, if that's you, this video is going to show you exactly how you can help your child turn that dream into reality without wasting time on generic programs or pricey recruiting services. I'm Evan Mendoza, and for the past 7 years, I've played professionally between the St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres. I've also played D1 ball at NC State while studying aerospace engineering. But here's the thing. I didn't get there by chance. And the players that I've helped along the way didn't get there by luck either. We followed a proven system. Take Ian, for example, who boosted his exit velocity and sprint speed after just a few weeks and just recently committed to play college baseball. Or like Hugo Sagasaki, who's training all the way from Japan, has been consistently improving his performance and has colleges from the US reaching out to him. I'm sharing these stories because this isn't just about making small improvements. It's about making real, measurable progress that leads to life-changing opportunities for your child. And I want you to experience the same results. Here's the harsh truth. Most high school baseball players never get noticed by college scouts. And the reason is because they get stuck in a cycle of generic training programs that don't address their specific needs or showcase their unique talents. They spend hours at the gym or on the field hoping for a breakthrough, but the results just don't come. And worse yet, they miss critical opportunities because they don't have a roadmap to get where they want to go. It's frustrating. You've supported your child through every game, every practice, but there's no clear path to standing out from the thousands of other athletes fighting for the same college spots. Maybe you felt this too, watching your child work hard every single day and still not getting the attention from college scouts. Maybe you've been to showcases and watched other players get offers while your child was being overlooked. Or perhaps you've been feeling the pressure to make the big leap in performance before your child's senior year, but you're not sure what needs to change. It's exhausting, right? Knowing your child has the potential, but not having the right support or strategy to make that leap. The truth is, college scouts don't just want a good player. They want someone who's prepared mentally, physically, and is also educated. Someone who stands out from the rest and can prove they've got what it takes. And I get it, I have been there. I played at the highest levels alongside guys like Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Yadier Molina, and even Albert Pujols. And one thing that sets apart those players isn't just their talent, it's how they prepare and position themselves for success. And that's exactly what I'm here to help your child with. I've developed the Triple Play system, a 6-month program designed specifically for your high school baseball player who wants to become a college prospect. This isn't just another training program. It's a complete roadmap tailored for your child's needs and goals. It's like having a personal coach, a mentor, a college advisor, and even a scout all rolled up into one, guiding your child every step of the way. The Triple Play system breaks down into 3 core components. Their physical development. We focus on what your child needs to improve, whether it's increasing his exit velocity, refining his fielding skills, or improving his speed. Every weakness becomes a strength. His mental development. This game isn't just physical. It's mental too. We help him build the mindset and resilience needed to perform under pressure, especially when college scouts are watching. And lastly, the recruiting strategy. We'll create a personalized game plan to get your child noticed. From showcases to direct outreach, we'll ensure your child is on the radar to top colleges by the end of this program. So what does that mean for your child? It means real results. It means walking into their next showcase knowing they've made the measurable improvements. It means having a solid recruiting plan in place that pulls them in front of the right scouts at the right time. And most importantly, it means your child is no longer just another player. They're a top prospect. But beyond that, think about the pride that you'll feel when you hear your child's name called by a college coach offering a college scholarship. Imagine the look on their face when they see all their hard work finally paying off. And picture them stepping onto a college field, knowing they've earned that spot. This is more than just getting better at baseball. It's about securing your child's future, building their confidence, and creating opportunities that will shape the rest of their life. If you're ready to give your child the best shot at earning a college scholarship and becoming the player that scouts can't ignore, I'd love to talk with you personally. But here's the catch. We only work with a small number of athletes at a time because this program is highly personalized and one-on-one. That means spaces are limited. We open up just a few spots each month to parents who are serious about seeing real, measurable progress in their child's game. If you want to finally see your child stand out at showcases and attract the attention of college recruiters, then now is the time to act. Here's what I need you to do. Scroll down to the calendar below and book a call with me today. On this call, we'll go over your child's current challenges, their specific goals, and determine if they're even a good fit for the Triple Play system. And remember, we've helped over 50 athletes like your child improve their game and secure interest from college coaches. So if you want to be the next parent to see your child's hard work finally pay off, don't wait. These spots fill up fast, and once they're gone, I won't be opening up new ones until the next group finishes. If you're serious about giving your child the edge that they need to compete at the next level, scroll down and book a call with me now. This is your opportunity to change the course of your child's future. I'm looking forward to helping them become the player that college coaches are excited to recruit. But remember, this program is not for everyone. It's only for athletes who are ready to commit to making real progress and achieving real results. So if that's you and your child, book the call now, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Are you the parent of a high school baseball
All right,
player?
we're back into it. Thanks for joining in again. And if you guys are also curious about anything about my program, feel free to DM us. Feel free to ask those questions. For those that have opted in to like an ad before, and maybe you have our phone number, feel free to text us back because we want to make sure that you're getting the best baseball education possible. And that's why I do these lives, is because I don't want to give you guys any vanilla answers to your questions, right? At the end of the day, like, baseball and baseball recruiting is very complex, and I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Guys, it is not the easiest thing to go through, especially if it is your first time ever going through the whole college recruiting process. So if you are a parent or a player of a high school baseball player, go ahead and click the link in my bio to learn a little bit more about my Triple Play program, which was about that video that you probably just saw, and watch that video, give it a watch, and then the next step ideally is to schedule out a Zoom call to see if we would be a mutual fit for each other. What we can do though right now is we can get back into action and getting to the this or that. Guys, I don't know about you, but I love that content is this or that because it helps me kind of just like go over some areas of basically what you guys are going through, so you can hear my input. And one thing that I'm looking at right now is weight room, strength, versus on-field skill work. So this is like a no-brainer in my opinion, but maybe it's not a no-brainer for you. Which one would you be like wanting to choose out of these two? Because there is a right answer, and I hope you guys get the right answer. Which one would you actually choose out of these two options? Would you choose the weight room strength or the on-field skill work? So, in my opinion, you can do so much more with on-field skill work than you can with weight room strength. And I'm going to explain to you why. Weight room strength, personal experience. I was in professional baseball. My skills were pretty much already there. But I took an entire offseason, about 5 months, going to more or less a bodybuilding type of gym for 5 months. I got chiseled. I got, pretty big and strong. All of my lifts went up. I think my bench press went from like a 180 to like a 250 jump. I went from deadlift being like 420 to like 550. And then my squat, I think I went from like a 450 to a 515. So all of my numbers went up in 5 months, which is obviously not a lot of time. If I continued that, who knows? My numbers could have gone up that much further. But what are we really truly talking about? We're talking about squat, deadlift, bench press. Do we ever, and this is maybe just like more of like a realization that you guys need to hear here today, but how many times have you seen Mike Trout in center field playing his position, bench pressing in front of 40,000 fans? Have we seen, well, okay, better yet, Aaron Judge, how many times have we seen him go to home plate in front of a packed out Yankee Stadium and PR deadlift as much as he possibly can? Okay, so, okay. What about Shohei Ohtani? Have you ever seen him in Dodger Stadium just like go up on the mound and basically like just squat as much weight as he possibly can? Have we ever seen that in front of 40,000 fans? I don't think so. So we need to understand those movements in the gym that you guys see probably on Instagram and like maybe you think you're looking cool. That's not going to help you actually progress again on the skill work. It doesn't matter how much Aaron Judge bench presses, deadlifts, or squats. Like, he has a pretty good frame, but more importantly, he moves over here efficiently. And making sure that you do things in an efficient manner when we're talking about rotation, guys, matters. Think about the Olympics just went over, just got finished up with, right? We have those I don't know, ice skaters, right? They're kind of like ballerinas, but ice skating, right? Figure skating, I guess is the proper way of calling them. So they're spinning, doing their axles, right? And it's kind of quite interesting, right? Because they're rotating super quick. Imagine if they weren't rotating as efficiently as possible. Imagine if they had their arms out while trying to rotate. Are they going to rotate faster? No, because they're not rotating as efficiently as possible. The efficient way to rotate, as a lot of people know, is to bring everything nice and tight so that way your body's able to rotate that much quicker. That, in a nutshell, is understanding efficiency of our skill work. When we're taking ground balls, are we taking the right angles to the balls, right? These are the things that I think are important for high school baseball players to know how to think about, right? Because if you don't know how to think about these things, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand like how to actually go through basically anything. There's a lot of people that just don't go about, whether it's the college recruiting process the right way, in the most efficient way, whether it's the weight room in the most efficient way. There's so many areas that I think, in my opinion, you just are throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping for the best. And in these very pivotal years, as you're developing, this is where we need to make sure that we're doing the right things so ultimately we're progressing against the competition. We don't want to be improving with the competition. We want to be against. Again, a lot of people have seen this diagram before, but I'm going to go ahead and draw it again. Because if we are, right here, that's what the team is doing. That's what basically team practices will look like. Well, we need to be blue. We need to be doing something extra. So ultimately, there is this gap between us and the rest of the competition. It's as simple as that. If we are doing everything else that everyone else is doing in the high school program, we are probably going to be on the same trajectory as everyone else. I hope you're not okay with that. I hope your son's not okay with that. And I hope you guys do something about this before it's too late. Because junior, senior year, when your metrics are below average because you haven't figured these things out, like, we have only a certain amount of time to be able to fix these things. And by the way, like, yes, we've had some students make some incredible jumps in 3-4 months, like, because of the structured approach that we have. But on the flip side, it's like, well, when we hit these plateaus, we need to break through them, right? And when we don't know how to break through them, well, ultimately we shift things up, right? And that's where typically you guys come in to me, is like, hey, we've hit this plateau for like a year. We haven't been able to throw past 84 miles an hour. I don't know what's going on. Well, what have we changed in the past year to break through with that plateau? These are the conversations I just wish that you guys understood, because ultimately you need to have that better understanding of what you're doing, what you're buying into. I like using the word, what are you opting into? What are you opting into, right? Are you opting into the right things in the weight room? Are you opting into, just looking cool among your teammates and your classmates? Because looking cool, guys, yeah, high schoolers, like, I get it, but it's only going to take you so far. I wouldn't want to look cool in high school, and I didn't try to look cool. I just did what I knew I needed to do to get where I wanted to go. And I think a lot of people need to understand that. So hopefully you can understand that as well in these high school years, again, that are very pivotal. And it's the easiest time. I've said this again. I'm going to say it again. It's the easiest time to separate yourself up here from the rest of the competition in high school, right? It's going to be a massive gap. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and you know what? That gap between yourself and the rest of the competition is massive. It quite literally is massive. And that's at the high school level, remember, okay? At the college level, it's harder to separate yourself. It's harder to separate yourself. Again, basically everyone is already down here. Actually, the better way to draw this, I'm gonna start this over. Okay. Average high school competition. Let's record this as the last thing that we'll do, and I do have a hard cutoff to go to a call here at the top of the hour, so I'm probably going to be ending this kind of short. All right. It will never be easier for you to separate yourself from the average high school baseball player. It's only going to get harder, and I'm here to explain why. So you're up here and you want to play D1 baseball. Well, your average D1 baseball player might be just, let's just call it right there, right? And maybe you will elevate up here to you, right? And there's a less gap between you and the competition than there was at the you and the average high school baseball player. But let's say you play in, pro ball, right? Well, pro ball, you might be right here as far as average competition, and you might be right there, right? Let's shift up a color right now. Well, let's just call it like MLB. Average right here, you might be like right there. It is so tiny, the difference between yourself and maybe the average baseball player at the, big league level, just for example. But at the pro level, in the minor leagues, there's a little bit more of a gap. But again, the competition, the best players and the worst players, it's not that far off. But what about the D1 level? Yes, there's going to be some lower talented player, but also really high talented player. But the gap between high school, average competition, and yourself, guys, it is never going to be easier to separate yourself, because there's so many high school baseball players that don't devote their time, effort, and energy into actually chasing their dreams one day. And they live with this more of, it is what it is type mindset. No, it is what you make it of. And at the end of the day, at the high school level, when we have the opportunity to develop our skills and to separate ourselves, we should be doing exactly that. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I have a call that I got to get to here at the top of the hour. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, guys, is close this out the right way, which is ultimately just to let you guys know I'm going to be here every single weekday at 7 o'clock Eastern time, giving you guys baseball value on mindset, development, and recruiting. By the way, guys, this is the Mendoza Line. As you guys know, a lot of the time, baseball and Mendoza, it's a negative connotation, so I love to be able to try giving you guys that line into my life and to make sure that you guys also get that baseball value. Of course, if you guys have any baseball related questions, make sure to subscribe to me over on YouTube. That's where these recordings will always be hosted. And then also follow me on Instagram as well. We post a ton of great baseball content. If it's the first ever time that you've come across my page, welcome into my ecosystem, and don't be afraid to DM me the word college over on Instagram, or click a link in my bio to schedule out an eligibility review to see if we would be a good fit for each other. That's what I have to get to here in about 5 minutes. So with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I could see how he became more confident after talking to you every time. You are always there when he needs. I think it's really important to know or be told from someone professional like you.
It was a completely new experience for us. I think we were skeptical. We dove into some of the content. We realized how good it was and the quality of it. The way that you kind of worked with him and you said it, and like, hey, these are the things I'm expecting from you, and that was a big part of why we enjoyed the program as well.
The program has made me like a little eagerness to go out and do something and not just like wait for the team practice and do things on my own.
As his dad, I can tell him till I'm blue in the face that this needs to be done. And sometimes it doesn't resonate coming from the dad. Sometimes it needs to come from a pro ball player.
Through your program, I just realized like how much more I could learn. I could just feel the improvement over the course like of 4 or 5 months, like you said. If you being able to supply me with this type of structure, I'm able to just learn for myself and learn how to improve by myself, which makes me feel a lot better as well as a lot more accomplished in the end.
I definitely recommend joining it. It's awesome. The community's great. Having you there to support you is incredible, and overall love the program.
You get the full structure. You get your lifting, you get your arm velocity, you get your mechanics, you get your hitting, and the hands-on approach from you.
Infield velo was 68 or something like that. It was not good. My 60-yard dash was 7.7, which is not good. And I was not very mobile. I wasn't very strong. I mean, I'm a big kid, but a lot of it was just like from my size. My infield velo now is 80, and my 60-yard dash is 7.0.
It's insane. What was the root cause for all that?
I mean, it was just staying consistent with the program. I think just I had to really stay on, like focus on the path that I was trying to get. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to become elite. I was trying to get better. I know the stats at the time. I was like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. But going back and looking, that's not where I should be to play at the next level. Staying consistent with the program really helped me through that time.
I feel like now I'm really like dialed into what I'm doing. So when I do it, it's just like this before, like you talked about earlier, like it's just coming in naturally.
That felt good. I mean, it gave me my confidence shot up. I think you should join in. You do a really good job of replying back to messages, and you're really fast to help out other people with like coaching and their swings. You're a pretty good coach.
Hitting improved, lifting improved, velocity went up, speed went up, everything in general went up. Before joining, I tracked my 60 time and I was running at 8.22, and then after a while I did a showcase and then I ran a 7.08.
What do you think leading cause for that? That's a crazy jump.
Probably mobility and probably the exercises that you have in your academy that allow for growth in those little tiny muscles that people forget about.
I could tell I was hitting the ball a little bit harder, and then it got better and better and better. And my speed picked up with the sprinting training and all that, and I was just getting a lot better. But before that, it was not super good. I've definitely picked up on my hitting velo. Before I joined the program, my velo was 72 off the bat, and at this showcase, I hit 80.
That's insane, dude.
No, so when I first saw your program, you were talking about how to get to college and how to get D1 and get recruited and all this, and that had me super interested because I'm trying to go D1 and everything, try to get a scholarship and all this, and your program definitely talks about it and helps you walk through it and get you started. Honestly, I would say like the program definitely helped me a lot. Helped me work through some things, get my visualization for games and all that, just get me prepared.
Obviously, like my program's remote. Like, have you had any trouble by doing the work that I provide you?
Not at all. It's right in front of you. So it's super easy to get. Search it up, find it, and start working.